Hello, welcome to Ukrainian Connections. My name is Cathy Harris, Katrusia Harris, and I welcome you to our show today. This is a place where we talk about Ukrainian culture, the arts, some of the opportunities in the Ukrainian community, some of the challenges. We talk about the food and all things Ukrainian, both about Thunder Bay, about Ontario, also about things happening in Canada and elsewhere. So today we have three things for you, which I'm pretty excited about. Chaban Ukrainian Dance Group has a concert coming up, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about that. And it happens to be its 45th anniversary, so that's a special occasion. And we have some little short video vignettes that were taken by Amy Hadley, one of the dancers in Chaban, of advice from some of the young dancers and teachers, and we'll be sharing some clips of that. And I also have a special guest today. We have Zenya, who has been on our show before. If you look back to last year, she was teaching all of you how to make Ukrainian wedding bread, korovai, and I hope you've had a lot of good practice. If not, you can go back to that video and see her again. But today she's going to talk about her experiences as a Ukrainian dancer, parent, etc., with the Chaban Ukrainian Dance Group over the past 45 years. Mm-hmm. Welcome, Zenya.
Thank you, Cathy. Thanks for having me back.
Back when Chaban started 45 years ago, it had a different name. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I'm going to give you a little bit of history. So I began dancing when it was still the single digits, so many, many decades ago. So under the auspice of SUM, Spilka Ukrainska Molody, or Ukrainian Youth Association, that's where I started my dance career. It was at 211 Robertson Street. It further, as it got more independent and more organized, it moved into the name Veselka. So that also was at 211 Robertson Street. Skip ahead a little bit, as it developed more and more, the name changed to Veselka Chaban, and that was in 91, 92. So for a couple of years, it went under the auspice of two names, and practices were at 211 Robertson Street. Going further on in the years, Chaban then dropped Veselka and was known as Chaban. And up until this time, practices are still being held at 211 Robertson Street. So there's the history, sort of in a nutshell, of the whole dance section at 211 Robertson Street.
That's cool. So you've been dancing with Veselka Chaban before it even began. So that's pretty amazing. Yeah. And it evolved, and starting in 1980, it became an independent group, but still at 211 Robertson Street.
211 Robertson Street, yes.
So what did you love about being involved with a Ukrainian dance group, about being a Ukrainian dancer?
Okay. So I continued my dance up to euchre size. And throughout those years, what I noticed now is, firstly, the physicality of it. I mean, you had to do the cardio. You have to have cardio because you do bursts of energy. First, stop, go, energy to show the audience. You have to have that endurance. So there's the cardio aspect, the stretching, the pointing of the toes, the holding of the hands, the posture. Then followed by the mental capabilities of it. So you're performing. So you have to act to the audience. You have to remember the choreography. You have to remember to point your toes. You have to remember to keep your posture and hold your head up high. So those are all those wonderful things that you put together, plus the musicality. The music that just draws it all together, and when to stop, when to go, when to enter, when to leave, and then you sort of become the best you can be. So when you tie that all together, and whether you're doing a solo or duet, or whether you're doing a group dance, then you're displaying it in teamwork. And if everybody brings their best foot forward, that's what you bring to the audience. and you have them wanting more.
That you make it sound so exciting, and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, a lot of us are doing that, and sometimes putting it together like that makes you appreciate how much effort we're putting in, but also how much we get out of it.
Yeah, sometimes you don't realize, like, you have those practices, you have those times where you think, oh, why am I doing this? But when it comes together, it really just brings joy to not only yourself and to your group, but to the audience as well.
So we're just going to take a moment, and I'm going to share with you a video clip of some Chaban dancers, and they're going to tell you about what they love about Ukrainian dancing, and then we'll continue.
I've been dancing for 4 years. I've only been dancing for around 2 years. 2 years now. A very long time ago, I got into this. Well, I've been dancing for like 6 years, actually.
That's a long time. That's like your whole life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first time I went into Milk Helican, I was like surprised how much work I need to do. Well, the surprising part was that we keep adding and keep adding new stuff and make it newer and newer and newer.
What do you like about dancing?
I like about dancing the part where we do the coffee grinder.
Why do you like the coffee grinder?
Because it's kind of really boy stuff and it's kind of cool.
What do you like about dancing?
Burpees and the coffee grinder.
Those are your favorite steps?
Yeah. Trapping coffee grinders.
What makes them fun?
Well, you get onto the ground and have fun.
What's your favorite step?
The coffee grinder. Like, you get down on your heels and then you put one foot out, then you swirl it around, taking your hands up. And you start to go really fast, from slow to fast.
It sounds tricky.
It is.
So why don't you both tell me what you like about dancing?
My booty. You like to shake your booty? Yeah? We like having time together every week.
It's like the movement's good for your body, and sometimes like the movement is very crazy also.
Why do you like it?
Because there's a lot of nice people.
How does dancing make you feel?
Happy. Making me like feel crazy. Have more energy. And it also helps my brain get unknotted and wider.
Is dancing hard?
Easy.
What do you like about dancing? What do you like about dancing?
That you get to perform it.
What do you like about performing?
That you get to show off what you can do. It's just fun to run around and do a bunch of dancing. It's so awesome being on stage because everybody cheers for you.
That is a pretty good feeling, isn't it?
It is. Even though you have to work hard, it's still worth it. You get to present what you can do on stage in front of so many people.
So over the years, Zenya, who were your dance teachers, and what do you remember about that?
Okay. So when we first started off, I remember Marika Skorpad, Mr. Ted Romaniuk, Mr. Stefan Pasotsky. I remember Mark Servinsky, Petrusha Hook, and of course yourself, the master of it all, Cathy Harris, the artistic director for Chaban for many years.
It seems like a blink, but yes, it's a lot of people behind the scenes, not just the artistic director, that keep the energy and the group and everything going. So have you just been a dancer in Chaban?
No, actually, I started off as a dancer and then had 4 children, took a little bit of a hiatus, came back as an instructor for beginner and at that time I think it was called Group A and B. Following that, as my children were in the dance group and starting to perform and more and get into the senior aspect of the dance group, I switched over and I became the co-administrator with who at that time was Anna Marie Eckensweiler. So we did that for a number of years, and then it was just amazing time to witness all of the changes that were going, and you having the vision to take us all these places. I mean, the group traveled to Ukraine, the group traveled to Walt Disney World in Florida, they traveled to Dauphin. I'm sure I'm missing others.
Spain was a big highlight. Yeah.
Spain was a wonderful trip.
You were a chaperone on that one.
Oh, yes. on a few of those trips, yes. And that was interesting. But how the group gelled and how they grew with their experience and stuff, it was wonderful to witness all these young people, these young adults, forming and performing on all these international and national stages, too. Yes, so it was, thank you, Cathy, for giving them that experience.
Oh, again, it was the hands of many that made it happen. But we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Ukrainian Connections with my guest, Zenya Pahalski. Thanks for sharing your memories of some of the teachers that you had in Chaban. And we're going to share with you a little video clip of what some of our current dancers have to say about their teachers. I hope you enjoy it.
Tell me about your teachers.
Carling. I can't remember other one.
What do you like about your teachers?
They're kind and they help me out. They're just pretty nice.
Do you like your teachers? Yeah? What are they like?
They're like the sweetest.
So I currently teach Barvina group, which has dancers ranging from 12 years old all the way to 16 years old.
What group do I teach? I teach the Visalka ensemble dancers.
I teach Metallica, which are age 6 and 7-year-olds. And they've been dancing usually for a couple years by then, but they're still working on a lot of the basics. So it's a lot of technique and reviewing old steps, but they also get to learn some new steps, which is really fun. And it's really cool to see their progression from even where they started in September up until now.
Tell me about your teachers. What do you like about them?
I like that they always learn me stuff that are crazy. I like about them that they keep teaching us the same things so we don't forget them, because without a teacher, you're just gonna be standing there and say, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? Yeah.
Perhaps the most rewarding part of teaching is really seeing all my students improve throughout the year, but moreover seeing them enjoy learning new steps, learning new dances, and moreover seeing them enjoying performing what they've learned.
The most rewarding part of teaching is seeing when a combination or a dance or some sort of step clicks in another dancer's head, feet, arms, faces. When I can see that they get it and the joy that it brings them, that's probably the most rewarding part.
I love seeing when a new step clicks for kids. So you can see lots of them will struggle when you're first teaching a step, or you can just see that they're having trouble processing it, but then once they get it and you give them that praise of like a job well done, you just see them light up and they're really proud of themselves, and then you can't help but feel proud of them, obviously, after that.
Now, during that little break, I took a look through some of our old concert programs, and this one's from 1987, and way in the middle here, Zenya was considered one of the taller dancers, so she was always in the middle and always at the back, but your beautiful face is in there amongst many others, and a great, great memory. So just randomly picking some programs out of the file. And then this one here, you were not dancing, but you were actually teaching some of your children in this program, and your daughter, your eldest daughter, is in the very middle as the tallest girl in the class. So that's a great little memory there too. And then in this program here, Beauty and the Beats, your second daughter, yes, was a soloist in this concert, where we did a storyline. Instead of Beauty and the Beast, we had Beats, and it was a really fun show. So I really enjoyed looking back at your connection in the group for the past 45 years. And I see you brought something in from the past. If you could explain what you have here.
Well, yes, I looked way back into the closet after Cathy had mentioned old costumes and stuff. So way back when, costumes were made for you to grow into. So this was actually my first jupon. This red out sort of coat looking thing is what we call a jupon, and the women or the girls wear that over their blouse. And this blouse actually was embroidered by my mother, and the jupon was sewn by Pani Hook, and it also has, I think, if you can see on the back, pleats on the back. And so I wore that for many, many years until the dance group sort of got into more costumes, and we had dressmakers and people who did more uniform costuming. At this point in time, people had different types. They were similar materials, but different materials sometimes, and so they weren't quite as uniform. And of course, the beads have changed now. We did have these shiny plastic kind of looking beads, but times have changed. We also have a plakta here, which was my original, and we won't talk about the waistlines on those, and pituchka, and that's the original pituchka that my mom had sewn for me as well. So those were, we won't say how old they are, but they're old. They're probably good for the museum now.
So Zenya, I want to know, does that costume still fit?
Maybe on one thigh.
Thank you so much for digging that out of your closet. It's beautiful. So now that you're not dancing in Ukrasize right now, you're rallying for others. So can you tell us who's dancing in Chaban from your family?
Sure. So in our family, as I had mentioned previously, we had the 4 children, and 2 have moved away from the city. 2 have remained here and have started their family. So amongst those 2, they have 4 children that are here. So I have 4 out of the 6 grandchildren who are here in Thunder Bay, and they all participate in Chaban. So it's almost a full circle, and it's just a wonderful experience to see them on stage and enjoying it. So 3 of them are in the Parent and Me group, and 1 is in Metallica. So hopefully they can pass on all the experiences and stay until they get into the senior performing group, because that's when everybody wants those red boots, right?
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Until they realize how they hurt their feet.
Yeah, so it's been a blessing to watch it, to see them, and I'm really looking forward to this concert because they'll be all on stage.
So let's talk a little bit about the concert that's happening on Saturday, May 3rd. You've heard a little bit about it through your family, through your kids, and so have you got your tickets?
You bet. So there's 6 from my family that are going to be performing at the concert. So yes, we have our tickets, and it is this year Dancing Back to the Future, and so it's kind of on the same lines as the movie. So it goes from the past to the future and leaves you at the present time. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm sure it's going to be very dynamic and quite hilarious in moments as well. So that's great. I did get my tickets at the Thunder Bay Community Auditorium.com, and tickets are also available at the Community Auditorium on Wednesdays only from 12:30 to 5:30, I believe. And you can also pick them up at 3 hours prior to the event. So those are important times and excuse me, factors to remember. So remember, Saturday, May the 3rd at 7 p.m., Thunder Bay Community Auditorium. Hope to see everybody there.
Yeah, and some people are asking how much the tickets are. So I think it's with all the taxes and service fees that the auditorium has to add on. I think the tickets come to $39 each.
Correct.
Yeah. So we're going to give, the Chaban Ukrainian dancers are going to give a $45 performance to you. So you're going to definitely get your money's worth.
I bet they will. I bet they will.
So a little bit more about the concert, because I'm also involved in it, is in the Back to the Future story.
Right.
The character Doc drives in a DeLorean car. Yeah. So looking that up, that car was actually not invented until Chaban started. So like Chaban was already 2 years old and this car came out. So Back to the Future, we are going even before the movie. So we're ahead of times. And there's about 6,000 of those cars available in the world today. But there is only one giant piston cut time machine. And it happens to be in Thunder Bay that exists in the world. So instead of going in a car, Doc is actually traveling in a life-size egg that he jumps in and jumps out of and goes to the, like you said, to the past, to the future, to the present, and reflects on some of the memories that he has, some of them kind of corny, and there's a lot of fun in it. Yeah.
I truly look forward to that, boy.
Yeah, and right now Chaban has about 125 dancers, so there's a lot of people to fill that stage.
Wow.
And a lot of beautiful music and costuming and dance routines and stunts and spins and leaps and smiles, so it's going to be a great time. Yeah.
And we're watching that all from the audience side, but the things that happen behind the stage, my goodness, I know that it takes a lot of hands and a lot of patience to run that.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll be right back with a bit more. Welcome back to Ukrainian Connections. Zenya, since you told us about the fact that you have your tickets already for the concert, what are some performance tips that you can give as a seasoned dancer to our up-and-coming performers or any Ukrainian dancer?
Well, based on my girls' experience, check that costume list several times. Make sure you have all of those costume pieces. Shine your shoes, shine your boots, relax, hydrate, and just have lots of fun and smile.
Okay, great. So we're going to share a short video clip with you of what some of the current Chaban dancers have advice for you about getting ready for the performance.
So are you excited for this year's concert? What are your tips for being a good performer on the stage?
Keep your legs totally straight and point your toes.
When you're on the stage and you're performing, what kind of things do you have to do and remember?
Lots. First position, second position, hands on your pelvis. Those are our most important things. Point your toes. Keep your fingers ticking out. Like to perform in front of an audience, it's like a little bit like scared and excited.
What are some things you've learned about what you have to do when you go on stage?
Smile. Smile. Smiling. Well, we do a smile a lot of the times. Because it's gotta look nice, you know. It's gotta look nice.
What else would you tell people about why you like being with Chaban?
Because Chaban is actually Ukrainian, not English. A little bit English, but still Ukrainian.
Do you have any favorite moments or memories from dance?
Mostly just walking off the stage after I was done my dance just felt so good.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
It's like you're the star. What do you think it's going to feel like when everyone's clapping for you at the concert?
Proud. It makes me feel good.
How does it feel when all the people are clapping for you?
Really nice.
So I love how the dancers have feeling and passion for dancing, and they look forward to performances. They look forward to the audience clapping for them. They look forward to the enjoyment that they bring to the audience as well. So we don't really like to talk about our age on public television, but you're technically a Chaban alumni. So I'm wondering if you have any words of wisdom to both the dancers that are dancing now, the ones that think of retiring, or ones that are looking to become a dancer, a Ukrainian dancer.
Okay. When I look back and I think about it, I enjoy your practices. Enjoy the learning process. I mean, because there's tons to learn, right? With your body moving, with the music, learning new spins or kicks or whatever. So it's a whole learning process. Enjoy the choreography because it takes you from the beginning to the end. It tells a story. So the audience will be captivated and you're the ones who are telling the story. So it's just a wonderful experience, and just have fun and smile and just make sure that your story gets across to everybody.
Okay, great, yes. Emotions are a really big thing on the stage, and it's interesting. They say that the distance of a football field, you can see somebody smiling.
Yeah.
So it's really important to have that the look that you're supposed to have for the dance. Now, some dances are somber and sad, so you have to reflect that as well. But for the happy ones, definitely to be beaming.
Absolutely, yeah. And through all those concerts and storylines that you've brought through and stuff, you can see the variety and you can see some sad moments and you can see the happy moments. And some of the previous storytelling ones have just captivated audiences, as did the recitals, because you certainly don't expect some of the dances to pop up. And we're so looking forward to this one.
That's awesome. So we're going to share a short little video clip of what some of the old timers in Chaban have advice for as well for the dancers.
So Steve, this is for a segment I'm calling Advice from the Old Timers. As the ultimate old timer, what's your advice for all the young dancers out there?
As the ultimate old timer? Well, I think take two.
What piece of advice would you give to a younger dancer based on all of your years of experience?
I think the advice that I would give is even when you get discouraged or you don't perfect something the first time that you get it, keep trying. Even at 36 years old, there are still some days where I don't get it the first time, and I have to remind myself to keep going, to keep pushing, and I think that's what ultimately keeps my brain and body as sharp as it is.
Just have fun. That's my favorite part of dancing, and even though probably every performance you do, you're gonna have one part that you wish you did a little bit better, or that you know that you made a mistake, but you know, if you just don't show it in your face and you keep going as if it never happened, then no one really knows the difference.
That's really funny. Last week I was literally telling somebody about a wedding that we performed at. We were doing hapak, and I think all of us forgot what we were doing or what was supposed to come next. So we honestly just stood there and clapped in a semicircle for what felt like 15 minutes. I think you learn to just go with the flow. You learn to just keep smiling, keep clapping.
You just keep having fun when you're out there on the stage, and that's the best part.
What does it feel like to have the best mustache in Chaban? What would be your advice for a younger dancer?
For the boys, stick around. That's all we say, stick around. Go for 1 season, 2, 3, keep going.
Yeah, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just try hard and keep working at it. Smile big and just have fun.
For me, it really is. It's the moments where I see the audience really enjoying the art and enjoying the craft, enjoying the performances that we put on. That, for me, is just the most rewarding feeling.
Even some days when there's frustration at the end of it all, it's something that's just ingrained in me and ultimately brings me joy.
There's a real joy in dancing, especially Ukrainian dancing, the pure physicality of it, combined with the music and the artistry, express so many different emotions out there. I just keep dancing because it keeps me alive.
What would be your advice to someone who wants to grow an equally spectacular mustache?
So I hope you enjoyed today's show, and I'd like to thank Zenya for being here with us today as one of the Chaban alumni. I'd like to thank Amy Hadley for the video clips that she's provided for us. And thank you to Rogers, Daniela, her volunteer crew of Jim, and to Ben, who's going to be finishing up after today's show, I think tomorrow. So all the best to you in the future, Ben. Thanks for all your work with Ukrainian Connections. I hope you learned some things about Ukrainian stuff, and maybe we'll see you at the concert as well. I'd like to thank the audience for being a part of today's show. And please remember to keep Ukraine in your thoughts and prayers as we travel along from day to day, to remember them every day if you can. Slava Ukraini.
Heroям слава!